Got your email on Crabtree. So yeah, when you're dealing with duplexes and triplexes, quadplexes, all that type of stuff, you start moving into the income realm when it comes to properties. It is a different way to analyze. You can't really compare them to single family very well. So what you got to do is you go to the search, and instead of doing residential, you want to go to residential income. All right, so I'll just start this over. And that way, this is the way that you're going to find some comps. So this is a duplex. And so you really want to broaden your search way out. You're not just going to hone in on blocks. You're not going to find anything. Duplexes are going to be spread throughout the city, so you're going to have to really kind of broaden your search quite a bit, and that's okay for the most part because it's a whole different type of market. So you don't have to be so specific to a neighborhood when it comes to duplexes. Really, what owners or what investors are looking for is return on investments. All right, so but this will get you started. All right, so that gives you 33 matches. You can really narrow it down by selecting duplex. Looks like we've got 17 matches on duplexes. And that gives us kind of this 450 to 600, 650 range, okay? And so let me take a closer look at it. Now you just pull the property data sheet like you would with anything else, and kind of get as much information as you can. These property data sheets aren't going to give us great information on duplexes. They're very labor intensive, like meaning that we need to have to go out and look at them a lot of times to figure it out, to figure out what's going on, because the square footages aren't always right. The bedrooms, the bathrooms aren't always right, etc. So let's see what the data sheet says here. But what I normally do is that if it's a duplex, I kind of just use the building square foot and compare that to other similar square footage buildings. Because for the most part, you're gonna have very similar bedrooms and baths with similar square footage. Okay, it might be off a little bit, but it might not be. Um, but it'll be close, is what I'm trying to say. Usually, okay. So bedrooms looks like we got five. Looks like we got three bathrooms. So one of them is probably a 3-2, and one is probably a 2-1. My guess. Um, and it's got a bill valued at 608. It wants five. What'd you say? 550. So probably not a deal that we want to go chasing very long. If he was at 450, we might take a really closer look at it. But we already know that we're kind of in, that 600 range already for value, 550 to 600. So you know, um, so he's kind of right here at retail from what I can tell. Now, when we've kind of got, like, if he is at 450, then we'd kind of dive into the next step, which is comparing cap rates right here. And that's a whole different analysis that I would have to step through with you on determining cap rates. It's a whole nother training. We're not going to really get too far into it because this is not really what we chase. We'll look at them. If something looks interesting, we'll definitely chase it and I'll go after it. But if the value is kind of here in retail, I would just move on. All right. So what you can do is you can go back to him and say we'd be closer to you know 450, 460 on this, and see what he says. If he's in that range, then we might have something to do with that property. So that's my feedback. That's how you kind of get an idea of value on duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, etc. Is using this income uh, tab right here, and that will really help you get an idea if we are in that ballpark. So again, just a quick review. I pulled a property data sheet. You're basically just using the total square footage of the duplex. You're doing a search on income, and you're pulling up all duplexes, or if it's a quadplex or if it's a fourplex, you're selecting that, and you're just kind of taking a look at square footage and the range of values and see where you're at. And we want to be on that lower end. So if he wanted to, if we said 450, 460, said bottom line is 500, let's take another look at it, right? And from there, we'll start diving into what is his incomes, what was the cap rates, and see if, then we probably want a cap rate of around 6% to make it worth something that we can resell. You can see like these that went for much higher price, their cap rates are much higher, so that's interesting. But yeah, we would want to jump into that after we kind of know that we're sitting on the lower end of this range. Thing that I did real quick was to select the lower price ones to see where they sit. My guess was that these were a little further away from the university, but not terrible. But not that you would know this, but usually universities they are they're usually priced a little bit better. But anyways, he is right off here, Elizabeth and whatever Overland Trail. So he's like right in this neighborhood, and our low solds are right here. So my guess is that's where we need to be as well.